What sparked the idea 12 years ago that you thought, "Wow, I can help influence the food programs in the state of California, and I think I can help get them to buy better quality ingredients to serve our children and our youth and our future."
So I think the spark actually came way before 12 years ago when I was pregnant with my daughter. I read a book called Diet for a Poisoned Planet. I was a television producer in New York and LA by trade and didn't even know anything about advocacy or food or any of these things. And I read this book and it basically said to me, you're bringing a child into this world, recraft, recurate your life, eat organic food, don't bring pesticides into your world, clean with vinegar and water, like all the things that we know can mitigate impacts on next generation. What my motivation was 12 years ago was that I live in a place, Marin County, California, where organic farming really came to be. Many of the pioneers live and lived in this place. When I realized that I had to recraft how I was going to feed my child, I really leaned on these incredible farmers that were growing plethora of everything. And I learned about the importance of organic, what it could do for people and planet. And I was challenged by my board chair at the time to do something in our community because we've been working globally with students when we had started originally here and all of a sudden we were there. And she basically challenged me to do something that really mattered where we lived. And what really mattered to me is a food system that was equitable and just for everyone. And over the years, as I visited schools and got to know educators, I would hear also from parents that every time they tried to change a food system in their school, they were shut down. And it was typically marginalized parents. And I couldn't hear that anymore. So I went to the school district down the block from where our office is, which is a very underserved student population and community. And I asked the superintendent if we could do a 1-week pilot. Pilots are always an easy yes. So we did it, and it was incredible. We had Michelin star chefs preparing the meals every day to the specs of the USDA, with the cost of the food being at that time $2 a lunch. And it was incredible. These chefs made everything beautiful. The kids, I always talk about it, felt like we were on the moon, that all of a sudden they lighted into this dining hall that used to be a multi-purpose room with tables set with cloths and silverware and flowers. And they ate everything that was in front of them. Seconds and thirds, there was no waste. They were happy and nourished. Second day of the week, all the teachers came and sat with the kids, and I'm going to cry. But you saw the power of food. You saw the power of community. And I think if we all remember that food is the thread between humans and cultures and climate and farmers, if we only look into our communities to know what we're supposed to do, and if we realize that the health of the next generations lives in our hands, then we're going to go off on these crazy journeys and make everything right. And I feel like that's been what we've been doing. We see the barriers. We see the reprehensible food that's okay for the USDA to feed kids. We hear about the lobbying and we look at our administrations and we realize, like, who's in charge? How are we caring for these kids? They're our next generation leaders. And the Conscious Kitchen for me is leveling the playing field. It's allowing kids to know that they're honored, that they matter. I remember right before we did our first pilot in a large district, it was 32,000 kids, 54 schools, and we did a pilot in one. And I went in one day and just sat down next to these 6th grade girls, and I was watching them pushing food around on their plate, and it was awful looking food. And I said, if you could get great food served, every day in your lunchroom, would that make you feel good? And they all looked at me and they said, could we have it by the time we graduate? And this was May, and they're graduating in June. And as soon as I heard that, I thought, these kids don't know that anybody really cares about them. And that was my propeller to expand the work that we'd done in the little school district in Marin City where we started, to help everybody understand that we can do this. We just need people on the same team.